Hello and welcome to the A's UK YouTube channel for a live stream on Saturday the 9th of July. Hope you're all doing well. I am Matt and I am here getting ready for the A's game on Saturday against the Houston Astros. It starts in just over half an hour live, so that is 1:07 p.m. start time out there in Oakland at the Coliseum, so 9:07 p.m. here in the UK. You can join the chat if you are watching live, and these are the topics we're going to be looking at for the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to have a quick look back at yesterday's loss, unfortunately, in the series opener against the Houston Astros. We'll have a look at today's breaking news. That is Christian Bethancourt has been traded to the Tampa Bay Rays, and of course we will take a preview of today's game. So yes, interesting one today. Zach Logue has been recalled from minor leagues to start in Frankie Montas's place. The A's are up against the formidable left-hander Framber Valdez. So a tough task again, unfortunately for the A's. And that is the way of this season, isn't it? So yes, I hope you've had a good Saturday. Of course, if you're out there in the US, especially on the West Coast, you've not got too far into it, I guess. It is, what is it now? 8:30 here in the UK in the evening. It's been a lovely day, actually, here in the UK. Nice and hot and sunny. I will be honest, I will make my admission right now. I did spend some of this afternoon in a beer garden. And any regulars of the live streams will know I do have a tendency to click the wrong buttons and to forget to unmute my mic and stuff like that. So that's the normal run of things, never mind before I've had a few more beers. So come for the A's content and stay for the potential disasters. That's what I would say. But yes, let's have a go. Let's see if we can get things working. It's been a little while since I've done a live stream. Was very busy over the past month with various things, not least planning out our trip to New York. So if you've not seen our little video of the trip to New York to see the A's series against the Yankees, you can see that on the YouTube channel. But yes, there we go. So I am rocking and ready to go. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. Actually, today's game against the Astros. It's a tough task again. It's a very good starting pitcher. But hey, there's always hope. There's hope for the A's. If we can get a win today, then that really sets us up nicely, doesn't it? After 2 wins out of 3 against Toronto, a win today, well, it sets us up for a very impressive week, considering the opposition and everything else. So let's see what we can do. But we do have to start, I guess, with yesterday's game. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. Let's bring up the scoreline. It was Houston Astros 8, Oakland 3. Jose Urquidy was dominant against us over 8 innings. Paul Blackburn certainly didn't pitch badly by and large, but it's the home form that continues to elude him for some reason. Very good away from the Coliseum. But yeah, he has continued to struggle this time again at the Coliseum, which is very frustrating for him, hearing his comments after the game. As he put it, if he knew why he was struggling at home, he would fix it. But yes, we'll see if we can bounce back today, of course. But let's take a deeper look, and we can have a little look, if I press the right buttons, fingers crossed, at the box scores from yesterday's game. Okay, so here is the batting lineup from yesterday, and unfortunately there isn't much to show you. Just 4 hits combined across the way for the 9 hitters. Laureano, Murphy, Bethancourt in its final game for the A's all got a hit. Elvis Andrus got a hit as well. He got the home run. But that was all we got. 0 for days for Machine, Brown, Piscotti, Kemp and Nick Allen. Nothing much going at all. It was a different story for the Houston Astros. Unfortunately, they racked up 14 hits along the way. Yuli Gurriel going 3 for 5 in a 6 spot. Alex Bregman going 2 for 5 with a home run in a 4 spot. But it was a man right at the bottom in the 9 spot, the usually light-hitting Martin Maldonado. You know, he's not a guy who's going to hit for average for the catcher, but he can knock one over the fence. And unfortunately for Paul Blackburn, he dished up a hanger of a curveball in the 5th inning, and Maldonado stuck it one over the fence for a 3-run home run, which really just killed the game, basically. That was the game gone. Very frustrating. 3 runs, and yet you're still in it. 6 runs down. Yeah, big time trouble, unfortunately. So the Astros hitters kind of had their way with the A's pitches yesterday. You can see that in Paul Blackburn's line. 4 innings pitched. Very good through the first turn through the lineup, but all went wrong, unfortunately, with 6 earned runs allowed. We did see some impressive pitching by Sam Moll and Kirby Snead in relief, both pitching 2 innings. Sam Selman gave up a couple of runs yesterday. He has been optioned back down to the minor leagues, but that's no real reflection on his performance yesterday, just the A's trying to sort their pitching stuff out with injuries at the moment. As for the Astros, Jose Urquidy, that was his line. Not dominant in the sense of striking lots of guys out, just 2 strikeouts across the 8 innings, but he is a master at just having a ball on a string. 4 hits, 1 walk. He just had his way. Outstanding in the way he can induce weak contact. And the A's just couldn't find a way to get to him, couldn't find a way to knock him off his game plan. And yeah, he just did a really strong effort. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to tip your cap to the pitcher. And we certainly had to do so yesterday with Jose Urquidy. So that brings us to today's topics, and we do have to have a quick look at the news that's broke today. Christian Bethancourt has been traded to the Tampa Bay Rays. Bit of a shame, because Bethancourt has been one of the guys we brought in as a minor league option, really. Came in, nothing too much was expected of him, but got an opportunity to come up and play when Stephen Foltz went down with a knee injury, and he's taken his chances. Looked decent at the plate. It's all relative with A's hitters, of course, but he has been swinging a decent bat, and he's looked decent behind the plate, can play first base too. So no surprise there was some interest in him. Tampa Bay Rays had a need, and so they have picked him up today. As you would expect, we haven't got much of a haul for him. 2 players have come our way in return. Right-handed pitcher Christian Bethancourt, so it's good to see our quota of Christians hasn't gone down. Christian replacing Christian. So he's a 22-year-old pitcher in single A this season, so he's very much a project for the future, but always worth having an extra arm added to your minor league system. And the other guy closer to the majors, Cal Stevenson, who is an outfielder, is playing in AAA at the moment, 25 years old. So he's another guy, organisation guy. Again, neither of them are particularly top prospects, but you wouldn't expect that. It's just taking an asset that we got for pretty much nothing and turning it into a couple of things for the minor league. So that's the sort of move you have to make in a rebuilding team. And yes, good for Christian Bethancourt more than anything. He's done a good job for us in the first half of the season, and he's been able to turn it into what should be a decent little opportunity for him with the Tampa Bay Rays. So good luck to him with the Rays, and hopefully the 2 guys we get can develop and maybe one day play for the Oakland A's. What do you know? Well, there we go. Christian Bethancourt is no longer on the A's roster, and that does have an impact today when we look at the roster. So that is what we should do, I think. Let's have a look at how things shape up as we look ahead to today's game, starting against the Astros. That is starting in just under half an hour. So let's take a look at all of the details. I've been making up some music this morning for the live stream, so I hope you're enjoying that. Yes, the man on a man for the Oakland A's is Zach Logue. The left-hander has been called up from the minors today to take the place of Frankie Montas, who is out with his shoulder injury. In some ways, the way we've moved things around is actually a good thing, because there is confidence apparently that Frankie may only miss today's game. I was predicting that he may be held out until after the All-Star break. But they are confident at the moment that there's a chance he could make a start before the All-Star game. So, Frankie is still on the roster, which means we have to move things about. Obviously, we can retroactively put him on the injured list if needed. But for now, we've optioned down Sam Selman from the relief corps and brought up Zach Logue for a spot start. Went back down to the minors at the end of May. Hasn't done too well, to be honest, with the Vegas Aviators since that point, but it's very difficult to judge a pitcher in Vegas, just as it's difficult to judge a hitter. We saw with Chris Davis at the end of last season, the ball can really fly out there in Vegas. We'll leave the whole Vegas thing to one side, but yeah, Logue gets a chance and hopefully he can take it today. He's up against a very difficult lineup, of course, but sometimes that can bring the best out of a guy, and maybe this is his opportunity to really showcase what he can do against a very good team. Rest of the relievers. So, yeah, the knock-on impact here is that the A's are going with a 7-man bullpen today, which, considering the trends in Major League Baseball over the last couple of years, is quite light for a bullpen. And, of course, when you look at the three on the right-hand side over there in yellow, three left-handers in Mole, Puck, and Snead. Both Mole and Snead both pitched 2 innings yesterday, so you would expect them not to pitch today. It's not completely out of the question. You'd expect that Mark Kotsay, the manager, would prefer not to use them. So we're likely got 5 men there: Acevedo, Jackson, Pruitt, Trevido, and Puck. And yeah, we'll see. Of course, that is one of the other knock-on effects for Jose Urquidy's really good start yesterday. The Astros only had to dip into the bullpen for 1 inning yesterday, so they are well set today if needed. It is Framber Valdez on the mound for the Houston Astros, a very good left-hander. He is, 8-3 win-loss record, 2.67 ERA. We've faced him plenty of times. I had a lot of joy against him from memory, so tough task, but here is the lineup. Of course, most of the left-handers are not in there. Seth Brown is, but he's really the only one. So the lineup today: Nick Allen, the magic man. Allen is the key. He's leading off and playing at second base. Ramon Laureano is still in right. I still don't understand why he's not in centre field, but we'll park that for now. Sean Murphy's batting free and behind the plate. Chad Pinder is in left field, batting fourth. Elvis Andrus batting fifth and at shortstop. Stephen Biscotti is designated hitter today. He's batting sixth. Seth Brown is batting seventh and playing first base. Sheldon Noisy gets the start at third base, batting eighth, and then it is Sky Wisey on the roster. Bolt in the 9 spot and playing centre field where Ramon Laureano should be playing. And so on the bench we have a 3-man bench today with the Christian Bethancourt having moved along. We're actually down a man because we've not had time to make any changes since that roster move. So it's a 3-man bench, all 3 lefties: Tony Kemp, Vimal Machine, and Stephen Vogt. Vogt obviously being the backup catcher, with Bethancourt having been traded. Okay, there we go. So hopefully we can get a good win today, and it would be great in particular if we could get a good start from Zach Logue. I don't know how far we're expecting him to go in this one today. I mean, if he can give us 5 innings, that would be really good. Of course, just looking at the bullpen, we'd really like him to go longer, but I don't think you can ask for much more than 5 innings out of him today, but we'll see. Looking back to yesterday's game, there was some interesting comments from Mark Kotsay about Paul Blackburn's start, and I can actually, if I click the right buttons, always a danger, I can actually go through some of those. So this was a little bit of information from after the game yesterday. Mark Kotsay talking about yesterday's A starter, Paul Blackburn.
Yeah, I think as you talked about, Paul came out, in those first 3 innings, really dominating with the curveball. The curveball had some depth. He was mixing the changeup in, throwing the cutter well. Second time around, just a few mistakes. Ultimately, I think the Maldonado at bat, if he had 1 pitch back tonight, it would be that breaking ball he threw Maldonado. Really, left it out up over, and Maldonado obviously capitalized with a 3-run homer.
Yeah, unfortunately he did. So I think the key thing there picking up, the Astros really did a good job second time round. So after the first 9, first time you've seen the picture for that first time that day, the Astros hitters made adjustments and got the better of Paul Blackburn. So that's something we'll look at today with Zach Logue. Obviously, a relatively inexperienced Major League pitcher. So we'll see how he goes, if he can get a little bit deeper into the game, how he changes things up. obviously with Sean Murphy behind the plate today, the game plan they can come up with to try and keep the Astros hitters off balance, because we know how good they are. You've really got to pick your poison sometimes with them. You know they're going to get some hits. You're going to struggle to tie them down. So how can you limit the damage? And it's always the way with every pitcher, but particularly with young pitchers, more inexperienced pitchers. It's about not letting that inning get away from you. If you give up 2 runs, that's not a disaster. If you let 2 runs become 4 or 5, then the game gets away from you. And of course, that's sort of what happened yesterday with Paul Blackburn over those 2 innings. Just couldn't get out of things, just couldn't find a way to knock the Astros out of their rhythm and get back on an even keel. So, yes, big job, I think, today for Sean Murphy. We know how good he is in handling the pitching staff. He'll need to call on all of that knowledge and all of those reserves to help Zach Logue through today. But I am relatively confident. I think Logue can have a decent start today. I think he brings a little bit of an element of surprise. He's not a guy they would tend to know too much about, you would think. So, yeah, hopefully Logue can go 5 innings. The A's can get some timely hits. Maybe a home run by Ramon Laureano against the Astros. And who knows, we may somehow get a win. It's one of those where everything would point to the Astros beating us today with Valdez on the mound, but the Astros lineup playing really well. You wouldn't, in theory, a betting man probably wouldn't give the A's much chance, but sometimes they're precisely the times when you can really come through and get a great result. So whether we'll be able to do that, I do not know, but we are only, what are we now, like 20 minutes away from first pitch. So I'll wrap up this live stream and we will move on from there. I'm planning to do another one ahead of Sunday's game as well. So similar time, 8:30 UK time, 8:30 midday out there in Oakland. Having a little look at the lineups and hopefully, looking back at an A's win in Game 2. If you're watching the game today, over at the Coliseum, watching on TV on NBC Sports California out there in Oakland, or like myself, watching from somewhere else in the world via MLB TV. Hopefully we have a good one. Hopefully it's a good game. And hopefully the A's can turn the tables on all the predictions and grab a win. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and, of course, at Oakland A UK across all the social media platforms. And I will be back again tomorrow with another preview. Thank you for watching if you've been watching live, or if you're watching on repeat. Click the notification bell so you are notified when we go live tomorrow and for future live streams. Let's go, Oakland.